Hello everyone, hello to all our dear subscribers. Thank you for tuning in, and I am Trang from DG Communication team, and it is my honor and pleasure. I'm very happy that I get the chance to be on the live with you today. So along with me, I would like to invite attorney Ken Duong. So he will be joining us in this live stream. So hello, attorney Ken Duong.
Yes, hello, Trang. Yeah, long time no see in person, but it's always nice to have another friendly face in the program as well, because I know that our audience really loves to hear what you have to say, and they also want to see your personality and how fun and exciting you are. So I do miss that at the office very much. So I'm looking forward to doing this live stream with you and answering questions from our audience as well.
Okay, thank you. So first, I know that a lot of us are wondering what is the situation in Vietnam and particularly in Saigon right now. Can you share with us some of your thoughts?
Sure, of course. So thank you very much. And our purpose of the live stream is because by popular demand and request from a lot of you regarding what's been happening in Vietnam, and we're trying to stay as positive as possible. Many of over 80% of our audience is in the United States, and I know that you went through your lockdown last year. Thus, right now, there may or may not be another lockdown in the United States. We'll see. But here in Vietnam, we are going through our full lockdown. We're going on week number 8, I think 8 right now, and it's just went in through the harshest lockdown, because of some of the cities, especially in Saigon and Bình Dương. Some of the cities in the south are experiencing quite a bit of, you would say, quite a bit of cases, over 200,000 in this time. But there are a lot of really good news and things that are happening here, aside from the increasing cases. So we're on full lockdown. Everybody stays in the house. There's a curfew and also rationing. And you can only go to the grocery store 1 time per week. Thus, it is imperative that we also make a cry to our patrons here in Vietnam, and also from out of state that have friends, families in Vietnam, to make sure that they stay home, stay safe. Food will be available. The central government has released and requested the help of the government and the military to come into Saigon to help, and also Bình Dương, in order to let people maintain their calmness and also their peacefulness and peace of mind, that they will have enough food sufficient for them. Therefore, that is the current situation in Vietnam right now. It'll go until September 15th. Unfortunately, most of the government agencies and the companies are closed, and all of them are working from home. Thus, there will be a bit of a slowdown on some of the work product that is being produced. But rest assured that Yun Global will fully operational. Our teams here in Vietnam, in US, Thailand, and Singapore are continuing to work on your foreign expert visas, on your Vietnam reentry or returnee programs, and also investor programs for forming and setting up companies. So with that kind of the backdrop, we're all working from home. Jack's at her home, I'm at mine. Mr. William, our vice president of marketing communications, everybody's at home, but we do communicate on a daily basis. Our operations team around the world. Thus, we keep it exciting, interesting, and we're happy here on this Monday morning to answer all your questions. And so that's kind of the update. Thank you, Chang. We can get to the next stage and then just kind of meet our friends that we've met before. And I'm sure a lot of them will come back again this time to ask questions or different questions, or also introduce their friends as well.
Oh, nice. So I think we have a question coming roll out already. So first we have Mr. Abra who say hi. So hello, Mr. Abra. Thank you for tuning in for live. And next up we have the question from Steve. He say good morning from Thailand. Good morning, Steve. Do you still think Phú Quốc Quảng Ninh Sandbox model still take place like Phuket model we have here?
Okay, great. Yeah, thank you for the question, Jang. I always enjoy sharing my thoughts, but I also like to hear your thoughts as well, as one of the locals in Vietnam, spent your whole life here in Saigon and Vietnam. So I'll share my thoughts, almost like an outsider's perspective, and then also as a legal expert, part of our team. But then I'll probably throw some questions back to you to see your perspective as well, because I think the audience really wants to know from a local standpoint, and also part of the marketing perspective instead of legal. Because sometimes the legal side can get a little bit dry, a little bit boring for people, so maybe they want a more creative and perspective. Okay. So to answer your question with the Phu Quoc, Phu Quoc is actually handling the. This is for Steve. Phu Quoc is actually handling the COVID cases very well. It's an island. It's isolated. It's still projected that most likely they'll have to push back because all of Vietnam, or most of Vietnam, is locked down until the 15th of September. And the final measures to really peacefully end the pandemic, or at least put it fully under control in order to get the vaccination programs. So our word right now regarding the sandbox, and I know that comments from last time that we had our live stream, and also from our video, that many of you do not think that the Phuket model or the sandbox model in the Phuket was quite very effective for various reasons. One is you can only go into Phu Quoc, you have to get tested multiple times, or Phuket, get tested multiple times. You have to stay in your hotel for 7 days, and then you cannot leave the area. Unfortunately, because the pandemic is not contained, it's actually getting worse here in Southeast Asia. Phu Quoc will hopefully learn their lessons from the Phuket model and still also do the hotel testing multiple times. And then also you cannot leave Phu Quoc to go to other places in Vietnam. And right now you cannot travel anyway. Thus, we are predicting that they'll probably push back for about 1 month, most likely October instead of September, to test out the Phu Quoc model. But we'll definitely keep you updated on that in one of our updated videos, or one of our weekly updates, either from Jang or myself, on the Phu Quoc sandbox.
Great. I also think the same way as you do. As we know that Vietnam is having a tough time with the pandemic right now, but I think regarding the food sandbox, it would still happen, and because it is a separate island, and they will they will implement a separate measure for work as well. So I share the same thought with Mr. Ken that he said that during October, for work may open and a lot of measure will be taken to prevent the pandemic and still welcome international tourists to come to Phuket as well. So thank you still for that question. And next is Lex Flow. He has the similar question. So Lex, let us know if you think that the previous answer already you feel happy with that, and we will be happy if you have more question for us. So next we have I am Daniel. That's a very good name. So hello Daniel. Thank you for being our supporter. We're very happy to have you on this live. And hello to Jasmine as well. Now we have Robert. Robert say any idea when family members can return? Attorney, can you?
Yeah, so hello, Robert. I know that you're extremely active, and maybe you're the number one fan somewhere for Young Global, and we know that. So we want to thank you for being so active in our comments, in our videos, and also in the live streams. I think you're actually 4 for 4 in every single one of our live streams, because I know always know that we answer questions for you. Unfortunately, Robert, and for all our audience, it the family members right now, if you're married to a Vietnamese or you have children, unfortunately, that's not an economic priority in Vietnam right now for them to return because there's still a lot of safety measures. It's a balance between the safety of the people and the containment of the virus versus economic development and unfortunately returns of families. Although, I mean, I empathize for you being away from your wife or your children or your husband or your spouse can be quite devastating personally. However, from a government perspective, it's not an economic stimulus to the economy. Thus, they have to prioritize the foreign expert program. A lot of manufacturing, as you know, Vietnam's a big manufacturing country. Thus, getting those foreign experts in. Two are the investors looking at economic stimulus, and then also prioritizing the return of Vietnamese people to Vietnam. And unfortunately, we don't see family members being able to come back until the opening of the regular commercial tourism visas and TRCs for them to come back. Thus, we're looking at probably first quarter of 2022. And hopefully we'll get a better idea after September 15th to see how well the strictest measures put in place right now to curb the coronavirus in Vietnam. So we'll have to give you update. I'm sure we'll be doing our live streams on a bi-weekly basis to keep you updated on that current situation. So thank you very much for your question, Robert.
Thank you, Robert, and thank you, Attorney Ken, for that answer. So next up, we have Lex Blow. He asks, what percent of Ho Chi Minh City is vaccinated, and why is getting worse if many are vaccinated? So I think I can comment on this question, and maybe you can add up to what I answer. So according to an article I read last night, so right now 75% of Ho Chi Minh City citizens are vaccinated with the first dose, and somewhere from 5 to 10% are vaccinated with the second dose. So for me, I think the reason why the case keep going up is first at the beginning when we first implemented the directive number 16, they were having all of F1 and F2. You know that F0 is infected person and F1 is the person who enter into close contact with an F0 person. So they kind of having all F1 and F2 who contact with F0 into a designated area to quarantine them. And that's become a perfect environment for transmission of the virus. So this is just my personal opinion. And second is they gather a lot of people to get vaccinated. so it's become a very crowded place. So maybe that somehow transmit the virus as well. What are your thoughts, Attorney Ken? So that's my two main reasons.
Yeah, so thank you very much, Jack, for giving these statistics. I definitely agree with you on all those reasons. And the viewership and the audience really has to understand Ho Chi Minh City has 13 million people. New York only has 10 million, and Los Angeles has about 8 million. So if you really put things into perspective, Ho Chi Minh City is extremely densely populated. Thus, anything you do will be over 100, over 1,000 people easily. Going to the grocery stores, people are waiting in line for hundreds of people with such a high, densely populated uh, base. It's easy, very easy to transmit. And two, adding to what Jang said, with the motorbikes, when you're on your motorbike and you stop at a light, you're really right next to anybody right next to you. Thus, that's also another way that it can be transmitted, especially now with the Delta variant being airborne, much more easily transmissible than the original coronavirus that we talked about. With all of that in mind, densely populated, people in close proximity, especially amongst the workers who work in what's called nhà trọ or low income housing or brick housing, whereby I only learned of their situation by doing the charity work, and they did a video, so I can see literally you can't even spread your hands out, and they'll touch each other. So that's really 2 meters. And if you're living in the same space with four people in a 2 meter span, you cannot get away from each other. And there are houses after houses. They're just really blocks and dormitories. Thus, if one gets it, that whole area will get it. And many of these workers are not well off. They're they're paid decently well, but it's really just not enough money whereby they can get the better spacing. So they're very close to each other. And the thing is, one block would maybe have 10 to 20 people or 10 to 20 families, and they are not regulated. So they see each other, they walk around, they hang out. Thus, that also creates further transmission of the coronavirus. There's just not enough space in Ho Chi Minh City for people to stay in their own homes because next door is already another apartment or house that we call it where they are living. Um, and all the things that Jang was saying, and that's the reason why the cases. Although I'm in Ho Chi Minh City, they're vaccinating about 200 to 300,000 a day. Like Jang says, 75% already have their first shot. But as you know, even if you get your first shot, you can still get the coronavirus, and also you can still have some very severe reactions as well. Um, Even if you have your first shot, so you have to get your second shot. And to be honest, now following the many developed countries, you really have to get your third shot, which is your booster shot, in order to fully be protected against the Delta variant and possibly in the future the Lambda variant. So therefore, even though 75% have their first shot, that doesn't give full protection. There's less than about 25% that have their second shot, which means it's not even enough to fully protect the people and until that is done. And that's the reason why it's getting worse. But with the good news is that Bình Dương is actually worse than Ho Chi Minh City based on the per capita cases. I was just talking to some friends this morning, and they really need help. There's only 2 million people in Bình Dương, but they have over 3 to 4,000 cases a day, whereas Ho Chi Minh has about 13 million people, and there are about 3 to 4,000 cases a day. So per capita, Bình Dương it's actually faring a lot worse than Ho Chi Minh City. That's a slightly good news that we're only number 2 instead of number 1 now.
Yeah, thank you, Attorney Ken. I think I can contribute to one more reason. That is, we all know that today is the beginning of a stricter lockdown in Ho Chi Minh City. So from my point of view is every time they announce a stricter lockdown or another lockdown, it urged people to go to the supermarket to store all of the food that they need. So it's very crowded, and I believe there are a lot of pictures of Ho Chi Minh City supermarkets that is very crowded. That's going on viral on the internet. So maybe that's one of the reasons why it's getting worse as we already vaccinated. So now we move on with the next is Robert. Robert say, always great information, Ken and Jane. Thank you, Robert. We all know that you are a loyal supporter, and we're very happy to have you as our supporter. We have Steve. Steve say that many thanks for the update, Mr. Ken. Great to see Miss Trang on the live stream as well. Stay safe. You too, Steve. We're very happy to see you, and please stay safe and healthy too.
Oh, and Jang,
Hello,
please don't
Isaac.
forget our audience in yeah, Isaac James. He's in our both our YouTube and our Facebook. But Isaac James had a
Yes,
question. So please don't forget our Facebook audience as well as our YouTube audience who
yes,
are
yes,
watching.
yes. So I will wrote out the question in order, and uh, when a question pop up, I will have it appear on the screen. So we have Dion Travels. You say, how are we supposed to get food and medicine with the martial law now?
You want to take that one, or you want me to take that one, Jang?
Please go on with that, Attorney Ken.
Okay. Sure. So, I mean, yes, this is the first time since I've been here in 2015 that has been implemented martial law. And for those that don't fully understand, martial law is when the government, the federal government, calls for an emergency whereby the military is asked to assist in maintaining order in a particular country, and then in this case, a particular provinces, and it's mostly the southern province. So based on the directive from the government that we all received our text messages yesterday, is that food will be, so each family is permitted to go to the grocery store 1 day per week. It's designated by your ward which day you can go. So Diane, please, whichever district you are in, some of the districts that the directive is really trying, they break it down into different colors. Okay, so you have red, you have yellow, you have green, and you have almost green, and then you have green. So those are the four levels that are depending on your ward, and even within your ward, there's yeah, areas for you as well. So it'll be micro divided for you. So make sure that you check that so you know if which one you're in. And the ones that are in the red will be more restrictive. The ones that are green will be less restrictive because it has no cases. If you have one case or little more, then you'll be in the almost green. So based on the law that was presented by the government, there were over 1,000 military personnel from the north that came into the south in order to deliver food, provide safety and security for the people, and also to maintain so that people do not have to leave their houses. So that is the case. So for the food, you can go 1 day a week, and the rest of the days you will be possibly assisted if you need it. Unfortunately, it doesn't address the program for foreigners right now. It's only the needy families that need delivery. Um, to be honest with you, many of us are doing charity work also at UN Global, but we are actually stopping that work because we are not sure if we can leave the house, if it's a 24-hour lockdown or not. So we're gonna have to wait a few days. And then regarding the medicine, when you go out to get food, you should also try to stop by into the pharmacies to get your medicines as well on that 1 day that you have out. The other way is you can possibly place orders in order to get your medicine. Those are some of the tips that I would recommend. To be honest, we don't know what the government can, if they have sufficient resources to get to everybody. But of course, you should have a backup plan, and we recommend that when you get food, that 1 day a week, also get your medicines. There's a list of medicines that you should get. We are a law firm; we're not a medical firm, so we don't try to give you medical advice. We just try to be as helpful as possible regarding what kind of medicines you should take in order to lower the fever. Also, for any salt as well. So salt water for your throat, your nose, and your mouth, and your eyes, in order to, if you do go outside or if you do contact with too many people. And then finally, you should also just work out, sweat a lot to improve your physical health and improve your immune system. That is the best way in order to preventative. And then also, if you do get it, there are different measures you can take, both health wise and medically, and then non medically, in order to protect yourself. So that is our take on the situation, and we hope that you stay safe. If for any reason you cannot get your medicine or cannot get it fast enough, please contact us, because we do have some resources that we can assist to try to get to many of our viewers and also the needy, in order to get them medicines, because we are preparing packages for the super needed families that cannot go to work, or students that cannot go home and that are in very tough situations. But if we can help you with something, Diane, please let us know. Just reach out to us. Thank you. Thank you, Jan.
Thank you, Dion, for that question. So next up, we have Danny. He say that good morning from Perth, Australia. I am concerned about visa issues wanting to retire here. What will be the best way to live there going forward for an Australian? We didn't have a 1 year visa.
Okay. So part of our program is how to retire in Vietnam. So Danny, to be honest with you, we've done many of these programs prior to COVID, and we will do it afterwards. So right now, let's not treat the same law as you would for outside of pandemic situations. So in order to retire in Vietnam, and many of the comments that you are getting from different agencies, or even on our own YouTube channel, saying that after this pandemic, the visa runs and border runs will go away, where people can get 1 year visas and then renew it over and over, that it will go away. To be honest with you, we don't believe that, because here's the reason why. Because the law, the immigration law, has not changed. It still remains the same since 2015, regarding when you can come in, when you can leave, and how you can go back and forth. So therefore, the enforcement has changed during the pandemic, but the law itself still remains the same, whereby you can still do your visa run. Unfortunately, Vietnam does not have a retirement visa at this time. Thus, you cannot stay here for a prolonged period of time without having income or a certain level of livelihood in order to stay here. We do have some programs for that, for sure, that we will do in the future in order to help you stay longer. We have small investment programs, franchising programs, to help you have a minimal investment, have a steady income, and also possibly be on the investor visa. Thus, those are some of the strategies we'll be employing for Vietnam prior to Vietnam having a tourist or retirement visa. So that's the way we'll have to move forward for Australia. And if the law changes, we'll definitely keep you updated for sure, Danny. So thank you very much for that question, as we have a lot of our clients who want to retire, or at least get to Vietnam. And from Perth, it's only about a 4 hour flight, super close, super convenient. You can spend all the summer in Perth and then come to Vietnam and spend another summer. So you'll be living in summer the whole year round, really enjoy yourself. We've made many videos about retiring in different cities, and we'll continue to add to that series, because we've done Da Nang, we've done Hoi An, Vũng Tau is another place, all these beach cities that you can retire in. But we'll probably do some other videos too, for other cities, for folks who want to live in the city, close enough to in Ho Chi Minh, but maybe a little bit further out, like Vinh Nhieu, about good places to retire with good medical benefits, good community, and also interesting services, depending on what you like, regarding music, art, etc. So that's we'll leave it at that for right now, Danny. Stay subscribed and stay following us in order to continue to hear about the retirement visa. And we do believe in the next 10 years, Vietnam will have a retirement visa.
Thank you, Attorney Ken, and thank you, Danny, for that question. So we have a greeting from our Facebook from Isaac James. He said greeting from New Zealand. Hello Isaac, thank you for tuning to our live video. And we have Lex Blow. He added to his question that the only difference between the first answer and second is to distinguish between Americans and Russian going to forward. So, Attorney Ken, do you like to answer this question?
Yes, so it'll be open up to everybody. But if you understand the dynamics of Fukuok, the two big companies in Fukuok are Vingroup, which is the billionaire family company in tourism and travel and hospitality, and the second big company is Sun Group, which does the kapjail or the people mover to the different islands, Bana Hills, and all that. And their big client base is Russia. So therefore, the first test of the Fukuok Sandbox program will be targeted towards Russians as they go into the winter months in Russia, which means they'll be able to enjoy the better weather in Vietnam. And that seems to be the way Thailand, other countries have attracted their European tourists. Thus, it will most likely be Russians that will go to Fukuok first. And then, of course, it'll open up to the Chinese as well. Those are the large populations of tourism, I mean, groups that will come to Vietnam. And then Americans will come as well. But Americans do not organize the same tours and at such large volumes as the Russians and the Chinese. But like I said, because of the Vin Group and the Sun Group connection to Eastern Europe, especially Russia, Ukraine, that's the reason why there will be a lot of tourists that will come from there going to Fukuok.
Okay, thank you, Attorney Ken. So we have Mike. He asked, do you know if there's plan to do some kind of vaccine passport in the near future?
So for that, it's the general answer is yes. There will be a Vietnam passport or a vaccine passport for folks who want to come into Vietnam. So Vietnam really takes after the U.S. and also China and some other countries to decide on their policies on how to regulate and international travel. So there are plans that in order to travel into Vietnam, you have to have your vaccine passport showing that you're fully vaccinated. And then it's already beginning because folks who, foreign investors, foreign experts, also, if they are fully vaccinated, instead of having the 14-day quarantine, they can be subjected to only 7 days of quarantine with possible 7 days of home monitoring. Thus, it is important that people know that being fully vaccinated and having your vaccine card or your vaccine passport will give you more benefits, especially entry or not into Vietnam. Thus, it will be implemented in the near future.
Thank you, Mayo, for your question. So we have several greetings from Clemente. She said, hello, good morning. And we have Easy Life also say greetings. We already give you updates on full work model. So please let us know if you think that those information is already what you need, and we will be happy if you had any more questions. Um, I think this one is going to be a very interesting one. We have Isaac from Facebook. He asked, any news on unvaccinated access to Vietnam for business representatives? Back to you, Attorney Ken.
So as of right now, if you're coming from a developed country, then you have to be fully vaccinated in order to come. And also you still have to do a PCR test 72 hours prior to going on the flight to Vietnam. Thus, if you're unvaccinated, the chances are you will not be permitted to enter Vietnam for any reason. Because diplomats also have to be vaccinated, foreign experts, and also investors. So thus, if you're a part of any of those groups that are permitted to come to Vietnam right now, you have to be fully vaccinated. Thus, Isaac, not having been vaccinated fully on 2 shots of any particular vaccines, you will not be able to come into Vietnam.
Thank you, Isaac, for your question. We have Jasmine. asks, will the lockdown be ongoing until what percentage of population is vaccinated? I think I can answer that question, but please correct me if I'm wrong, Attorney Ken. So until I think Vietnam will reach somewhere from 70 to 75% of the population vaccinated, that's when will open again. What do you think, Attorney Ken?
Yes, so I mean, based on scientific studies, having the entire population 70 to 75%, or like Phuket sandboxes, where a region can possibly open up if it reaches that amount. Based on Vietnam's current projections, by the end of this year, so December, all of Vietnam will, or not all of Vietnam, I'm sorry, 50% of the Vietnamese will be vaccinated with 2 shots. So then you add a few more months of that. First quarter of 2022 will 70 to 75% of the population will be vaccinated. And regarding the lockdown, no, the vaccination of the population and the lockdowns are not fully correlated, which means that the lockdown measures, and when we say lockdown, there are different levels of lockdown, social distancing. We break it down into different directives. Directive 15 versus 16 versus 16 plus, and then plus plus, and I don't know how many more pluses, but it's going to go on for a while. So Ho Chi Minh City already achieved its 75% first shot. Once it expects by the 15th of September to get 70% or more on the second shot, and then be able to stop the lockdowns in Ho Chi Minh City, and then all the other cities that are epicenters like Bình Dương, Long An will need to achieve that as well. So in general, 70% to be safe for reducing the lockdown, but they're not directly correlated. There's no specific number that the government is targeting in order to stop the lockdown. But the plan is by 15th of September to stop the lockdown measures for the hard hit areas, especially Ho Chi Minh and Minh Diem.
Thank you, Attorney Ken. Isaac also asked one more question: is access for APEC visa holders? What do you think?
So as of right now, APEC holders cannot come in.
Okay, thank you. So next up, we have the Lamb's Chapel, Vietnam. I'm American in Vietnam, 6 years. Wife, my Vietnamese wife. I need to visit my mom, 92, in America. But as I see it, I can travel until tourists are allowed. What do you think?
So the Lamb's Chapel, so leaving Vietnam is very easy. Um, I am in America in Vietnam, 6 years, wife, and my wife, Vietnam wife. Okay, so I assume that you are living in Vietnam right now, but you want to go back to the States to visit your mom. So leaving the country right now is not prohibited. A lot of people are saying that, do I need exit visa? What do I need? So you do not need anything specific in order to exit Vietnam right now, right? But in order to come back, you must fall in one of those categories of foreign expert, investor, or returnee program. Having a TRC or work permit will not allow you to come back right now, unless if you have the other visas with you. What I would recommend is if you really do want to come back because you only have one mother, and since she's 92, she's of advanced age, I would recommend that you go back to the States to visit her. Also, you can try to get a tourist visa for your wife to go with you to the States whenever the U.S. consulate in Ho Chi Minh City opens up, or in Hanoi. We're hoping after September 15th, you can get a tourist visa for your wife to go with you. So at least you're together in the U.S. and you can wait it out there, visit your mom, and stay there, and maybe even get vaccinated, because maybe in the U.S. it's much easier to get vaccinated. Then after that, you can wait until about the first quarter of 2022 in order for commercial tourism to open up and then come back to Vietnam. That would be my recommendation for you, as we've recommended for many others in your similar situation.
Thank you, the Lamb's Jable, for your question. We have Isaac. He asks, I am having problems with deliveries in Ho Chi Minh City because no vaccinated delivery drivers in that time frame on a return to normal. Uh, I feel the same way with you, Isaac, because myself, I cannot book any delivery for food during the past few days because the stricter lockdown already implemented today. So no, currently in Thủ Đức City where I'm in, and many other districts in Ho Chi Minh City also will suspend delivery driver at the moment. So what I suggest is you can connect with your landlord, and you can write down what you need, and she will. So every walk they will provide us some delivery, and he or she will help us buy the food that we need or grocery that we need, and then deliver to our landlord, and the landlord will bring back to us. So that's my suggestion, what you can do right now, because right now no delivery driver are allowed to do the service. Next up, we have Amget Atia. Because of current circumstances, are there any government restriction in place or to come for processing registration or visa for representative office and foreign experts coming to Vietnam? Back to you, Attorney Ken.
So thank you very much, Amgad, for the question. Yes, there are a lot of current government restrictions in place right now in order to open your representative office and also for the foreign experts. Just last week, we received five foreign expert visas. However, we've actually post-dated the date for entry until the first week of September because we know that the airports are locked right now. You cannot travel into Vietnam right now. Both the Hanoi and the Ho Chi Minh City airports are closed to foreigners, even if you already have your invitation letters due to the lockdown right now. So to be safe, you cannot come in Vietnam for sure until after September 15th, even if you have your expert or your investor visas. And two is for the opening of your representative office or your company, you can you can prepare the paperwork. So what we've been doing with our clients who want to set up their either representative office or a new company is we start preparing and gathering all the documents, such as your if you're doing a rep office, you have to have 2 years of tax returns, also, your company registration in the United States or in the foreign country, and also the employment agreement, and then your CV as well, in order to open up the representative office. So what we're doing, we're collecting all those documents and your bank statements. And if you want to open up a new company, we also do the same. But the government offices are working at a limited capacity, especially with the Ministry and the Department of Planning and Investment. Thus, you cannot get the registration because the government entities that process the paperwork are closed right now until September 15th. Thus, that will be the processing time. So to answer your question in general and also those specifics is that there are a ton of restrictions right now in order to get your foreign experts. But of course, it takes about 4 to 6 weeks to process a foreign expert visa, and about 4 to 8 weeks to process a representative office and investor visa. So it's a good time to start right now. We are in the August 23rd, so about 4 weeks, the lockdown will be over, and then you can process your paperwork then. So we recommend at least start the paperwork now, and Yoon Global will be glad to help you.
Thank you, Attorney Ken Yoon. Please, if you need any help, please contact with us at contact@youngbusinessconsulting.com, and we will be glad to help you. And next we have Joseph, and he say thank you for the excellent videos you and your staff share with us. Have enough of your viewers share their appreciation for the professional and enthusiastic way that Trang present her material. Thank you, Joseph, for your support to us, and myself and also the marketing team in our department. We will try our best to deliver um, positive and also up-to-date news that you and the audience need to know about Vietnam, and we will try to convey more positive news. So you will see that Vietnam is still a beautiful place to live and to invest in.
And
Um,
don't worry, Joseph. It's not just the audience giving praise to Chang. Internally, our team as well, including her supervisor, Mr. William Dos Santos, our co-founder, VP of Marketing Communications, and also based in managing our Thailand office, gives a lot of praise for her. So her supervisor, her colleagues, and also the many of the friends. So don't worry, we really value her work, and we know this is her first live stream, so she's a little bit nervous. But if you guys think she's doing great, just please give her a thumbs up and continue to assist her in developing her skills and her ability to communicate and help you get better and more informed information. To be perfectly honest, I watch her videos as well because there are a lot of things that I learn about the perspective in Vietnam that I do not get as a foreigner living here in Vietnam, and the nuances, and also being a Saigonese. So it's extremely rare. So her perspective is very valuable, and we appreciate that, and we really appreciate Jan in all her work and her efforts.
Thank you, Attorney Ken. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm actually pretty nervous right now. I couldn't sleep last night. It's my first live. So back to our question, that Nguyen, he said, is there any delay in Vietnam passport process right now? Thanks. I think the delay is 4 to 6 weeks or 2 or 3 weeks right now, right, Mr. Ken?
Yes, correct. Delay in Vietnam passport process. Actually, for the Vietnam passports, depending on where you are, that wing. If you are in the United States, there's actually no delay in processing right now, because in the U.S. they are open and working. We just received 3 passports last week, so there is not a substantial delay if you're from the United States, Australia, Canada, France. Those are the countries that we are processing very quickly and also successfully. If you're outside of those countries, there may be some delay. We're hoping that you're working with one of our legal consultants now. Miss Lê Quang Vi is the one that is doing the business development and also the advising and consulting, and then our operations team will do the processing along with our operations team in the United States. So if you're in the U.S., there should not be any delay in the processing. Make sure that you submit. We have a full landing page on our Yoon Global website to give you full information about the process, frequently asked questions, all the videos we've made. So please check that out in order, and then also fill out the intake form. And then one of our legal consultants will contact you to assist you with any questions you have. Thank you, Dak.
Thank you, Attorney Ken. So that Nguyen, I just comment our landing page. So maybe you want to check that out to see the information and how we can help you with the Vietnam passport process right now. Next, we have I am Daniel. Is there any way I can prove I'm a VQ for citizenship if my parents don't have any papers or family book?
Okay. So thank you very much for the question. A few of the documents you would need in order to prove that you are Vietnamese. One is your birth certificate. Two are any school records if you went to school here in Vietnam. And then three, if hospitals or records that you may have as well. Okay. If you were not born in Vietnam, in order to get Vietnamese citizenship, both of your parents need to have their Vietnamese passport. Not just that they used to live in Vietnam or their birth certificates, but if they've actually lost or did not get the Vietnam passport, then they have to both get the Vietnamese passports before you can get your passport. Okay. And if your parents at least have their birth certificates, then you can get them a passport. And then from there, you can get your passport via their sponsorship and vouching for you that you are of Vietnamese descent through them. So I am Daniel. You can definitely look at the site. We have all our information on there and all the videos. So please click on that and then fill out the intake form, and one of our legal consultants will contact you and let you know what your chances are and the next steps to get your Vietnamese passport.
Thank you, Daniel, for that question. We have multiple greeting from say good morning to Wango Tong. Good morning, Trang and Ken. Hey, good morning, Wango. And
Yeah.
next we have Lex Flow. He has question. If I build an amazing mansion with a big wife in a village, could poor people use communist law to find a way to steal our property when they live next to such inequality? I'm a white American. Back to you, Attorney Ken Yu.
Yes, sure. I'm always willing to take the hard questions, Jang, as that is my role as an attorney. But Lex Flow, let me answer this both politically correct and also with a little grain of salt. Is this? So Vietnam does have eminent domain laws, which requires them to give notification and just compensation for the land and sufficient notice. If you are living, if you can build your mansion, you can buy your land in the countryside and live there. Many of the Vietnamese do that as well, and also some of the foreigners as well. So, in order for the government to take your land, they have to have a specific governmental purpose, such as building a road, building an airport, building certain governmental buildings, and then they have to take and also work with all the different other landowners in the area as well. Uh, because you have a Vietnamese wife, the most likely the land will be under your Vietnamese wife's name. Thus, she'll be fully protected under Vietnamese land and real property law. Thus, for them to request the use of your land, they will have to give you compensation for that in order to take the land. Okay. And to be honest with you, what you've heard before, pre 1975 all the way up to 1995, where the government just takes land for no reason, that no longer exists now, because due to the WTO entrance and also many of the international laws and regulations regarding how individuals and also how foreigners work with state disputes. Therefore, we have a plethora of different attorneys in Vietnam, civil litigation, constitutional law attorneys that will protect the rights of Vietnamese, and especially with a foreign component in it, to protect you against any of these unlawful takings by the Vietnamese government. So rest assured that you will have a very high level of protection if you do decide to buy the land and also build a mansion on your land. But make sure that we provide legal due diligence on property acquisition and especially land, to make sure that the title is all clear, that the seller has the rights to sell the land, and also what are your remaining rights on the land, because that's very important. If they only have a 50-year lease, or they don't have it in perpetuity, or there's certain conditions on the land, you want to make sure you have all of that first before you purchase the land, and we'll be happy to help you advise on the legal due diligence in the acquisition of land.
Thank you, Attorney Ken Yung, for your answer. So next we have the question from Harry. Can you help my girlfriend visit Los Angeles somehow? She lives in Gova district. So I think I will answer, but please help me if please correct me if I'm wrong. So right now, it's very hard to visit, to get out of a different city and go to the state if he or she not in a spousal program like Attorney Ken.
Right, right. So unfortunately, is the Vietnamese or the U.S. consulate in Ho Chi Minh City is closed right now. Thus, you cannot process a tourist visa to the United States until after September 15th. We have tons of clients that are waiting to go to the U.S., especially to do the vaccination program or to visit friends or do business. And right now, is taking their kids to university. many of the students have their student visas, F1 visas, which are still being issued as an emergency measure, but the tourist visas are not being issued right now. But so thus, we will not be able to get your girlfriend to visit right this moment of this live stream. But we would highly recommend that she start the process of applying, and we also have a process for that. So Harry, if you're interested, we have an assessment form to determine what percentage success that your girlfriend would have in order to visit the United States after September 15th would be the earliest we can process because there's still interview time and a wait time. So that visa is called a B1, B2 tourist visa in order to visit the United States. So if you're interested, please email us your request to contact at youngbusinessconsulting.com, and we'll be happy to send the assessment form for your girlfriend and see if we can determine that she can get a tourist visa to come to the U.S.
Thank you, Attorney Ken Duong. And next we have John. He asked, will Vietnam access single-shot Johnson and Johnson shots? I think right now in Vietnam we haven't have Johnson and Johnson vaccine yet, right, Attorney Ken?
Correct. Johnson and Johnson was just approved for emergency use authorization. However, as of right now, no doses of Johnson and Johnson have been used in Vietnam. It's mostly still the Pfizer, AstraZeneca, Moderna, and then Sputnik, and also Sinopharm are the ones that have been approved for emergency use. So thus, Vietnam does not have any Johnson and Johnson shots right now.
Thank you. Sean say, we really enjoy your channel a lot. Keep up the great work. Thank you, Sean. We really appreciate your support and all of your support from our audience. Danny say, thanks for your answer, Ken. Can't wait to go back to Vietnam.
We can't wait to greet you here in Vietnam, then.
Correct. So Timothy say, if you cannot leave your house, how can one receive the vaccine? Oh, I think I can answer that. So in each ward in your living area, there will be a specific facility for vaccination. And if you want to get vaccination, you can go directly to there. And the restriction not leaving the house will not apply when you want to go vaccinated, to get vaccinated. So one of our member in my family, even though we are in strict lockdown, when we say that we come to the facility to get vaccinated, we are still allowed to go. So it should not be an issue right now if you go out and you get vaccinated. So Anne, Flowers, and Balloons say, I am a Vietnamese citizen from the US. I am currently in Saigon with my American husband. What is the process of getting my family book and how long it will take?
I think we need to do some clarification. And I am a Vietnamese citizen from the U.S. I think you're also a U.S. citizen and also a Vietnamese citizen. I will take that as an assumption, where you already have your Vietnamese passport, you're Vietnamese American, and now you're currently in Saigon with your American husband. What is the process of getting my family book and how long will it take? So now Vietnam just passed the law in July 1st to go with the digital family book, which means that they're no longer a physical book. It will be recorded in a online in a digital platform database that the government has. So in order to get your digital family book, and I assume you already have your Vietnamese passport, you have to have either own an apartment or a house in that particular city, Ho Chi Minh City. If you're there or in Saigon here, then you need to own a house and you need to register that house under your name. And then you can use that to register for your digital family book. So that process takes about 4 to 6 weeks. But now with the closing of those government offices, you would have to count 4 to 6 weeks after September 15th in order to start the process. If you think it's too complicated or you need any help, our team will be glad to help you to do your family book and then also to get your national ID. as well. So please contact us and we'll be happy to help you in.
Yes, I already put our contact email at the comment section, so please check it in. We have Richard. He say, "Hi, do you guys help people get permits in Vietnam to live? I can contact you for that because I'm planning to live in Vietnam once they allow people back in."
So Richard, yes, we do assist folks to stay in Vietnam with different strategies. If you're not in Vietnam right now, it will be very difficult for you to come in unless if you're a foreign investor, foreign expert to Vietnam. But once the regulations lift and it goes back to normal commercial tourism, you can come in and we can help you get a work permit, or a temporary residence card via the many immigration programs available in Vietnam to allow you to stay longer term for many years in Vietnam. So we'll be glad to help you. Please stay in touch with us and also watch some of our videos as we explain the different visa types that you can get. But once, like we said, it will be first quarter of 2022 in order to open up Vietnam. So contact us then and we'll be glad to help you paint and organize your travel to Vietnam.
Yes, thank you, Attorney Ken. We have a question from Old Man Mossing. Hi, Ken. This is for specifically the question for you, Attorney Ken. Will you be submitting my paperwork as soon as it opens?
Yes, of course. We have all your paperwork fully finished, and we are just waiting to submit all the paperwork once it opens up.
Thank you. So Sean also asked, what is the cost of building a new house, including the land in Đà Lạt and Quảng Ngãi?
Great. So I can give you a specific on Đà Lạt because I've been identifying and looking at land there quite extensively and in different parts of Đà Lạt. Quảng Ngãi, we do not have experience to tell you. But Sean, let me tell you about Đà Lạt. So Đà Lạt right now is going for, if you want to be within the central Đà Lạt area and within 10 kilometers of the central called Hồ Xuân Hương, which is the lake right in the middle of Đà Lạt that creates a beautiful mountain view and also lake view, then within 10 kilometers, you're looking at, we're basing on square meters. For per square meter, you're looking at 1,500 US dollars per square meter. And you can't get anything less than 150 square meters, right? So if you do 1,500 times 150, you're looking at about what's that? 150, about 200,000 US dollars for the land itself. And then the construction costs, it really depends on how much you are building. But due to if you're building on a hill, you're doing in a small alley or different terrain that's hard to get to, then the cost will go up. But it actually will be more expensive than if you were building flatlands like in Saigon or Hanoi. So you're looking at maybe another, at a minimum $50,000 up to another 100. I would say on average 100,000 US dollars to build a good home for you to live on. So you're looking at about 300,000 US dollars in order to buy land and build a home within 10 kilometers of Đà Lạt Center. If you go further out of Đà Lạt Center, such as in Lâm Hà or in what is that called? Lạc Quang or some of the other outer parts. I'm forgetting all the names where Lang Biang is. Then you could look at a little bit cheaper, maybe 15 million, which is about 700 to 1,000 US dollars per square meter. However, when you go further out, you have to buy larger pieces of land in order because they sell farmland or jungle land or forest land. So you have to make sure the zoning is permitted for you to build. And then it really depends on what you're looking to build. So I would say as a general rule, if you're building within this city center, 10 kilometers, then you're looking at 300,000 for land and building. And if you are going outside, then you're looking at about the same amount, 300,000, but you get a bigger plot of land, a little bit more forest, and maybe even the stream. Okay, that would be my tip for you regarding if you're looking to build a house or land in Dalat. And if you have very specific questions, I'll be happy to let you know. I've been looking at land for 3.5 years now in Dalat, and so I actually know quite a few good deals, good areas. So if you want some personal advice, I can have our real estate team work with you in order to help you identify the piece of land and then also the construction cost. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you, Attorney Ken. We have a greeting from Friday with Mateo. So hello, good morning, Mateo. We see that you tune in a lot for our live and on our videos. Well, so thank you very much for your support. And Paul asked, does your firm assist foreigners to find employment in Vietnam?
Yes, so we don't directly help you, but we actually, because we have this request all the time, we do work with quite a few HR companies and also employment technology websites. So if you're interested, Paul, so we work with a company called Vietnam HR that does the traditional personal placement of mostly executives of companies, foreign executives who want to work in Vietnam. We also work with two websites. One of them is called Job Hopping, and Job Hopping focuses on technology, engineering, software development type of businesses and or type of careers, and also employment positions. So if you're looking to do that, and then also with some of the HR companies in Vietnam, like Adelco, that does straight placement of jobs. Then so we do assist in providing you the resources to help you find jobs in Vietnam, but directly we do not do it. But once you do get the job or the job offer, we'd be happy to assist you on the employment law, reviewing the employment contract, advising on the tax implications, setting up your bank account to be able to work in Vietnam, and also get your work permit and your temporary residence cards after you get it. So we help you with introductions to firms that can help you get employment, and then we help you with the legal work.
Next, we have a question from Ken as well. So, hello, Ken. My name is Ken also. I live in US right now. How could I reapply for my Vietnamese citizenship in the US?
Yeah, so thank you very much, Ken. If you look up a little bit, I think you're on our YouTube. We have our full website landing page with all the information you need to get a Vietnamese citizenship. So please click on that link, and you will see all the information, the videos, and then make sure you fill out the intake form. Once you fill that out, our legal consultant will contact you to let you know what are your chances of getting the Vietnam passport. If you can get it, we'll sign a contract and begin the work. If you can't, we'll let you know so you won't waste your time. And that's the only thing we can promise, certainty and also responsiveness.
Yes, thank you, Ken. I just comment our landing page on for our Vietnamese citizenship service. Please check it out. We have most Joes. He say, "Good morning. I have seen all importance of your all dedication for all situations. In people have situations solved. I'm looking forward to have opportunity in your company to me to be able to travel to Vietnam to marry my Vietnamese fiance soon. Is possible open?"
Yes, it's more of a statement. Thank you, Moses, for the statement. And we are trying our best. We know that reunification of families is critically important. But we just put out a video recently. Either you come to Vietnam under one of the two programs for an expert or a foreign investor, or you can wait until and try to get your fiance a tourist visa, or the third option is we can start processing your fiance visa right now. It'll take about 8 months in order to complete it, and after that she'll be able to come to the US where you can get married within 90 days after coming to the United States. So our team in Vietnam does prepare all that paperwork, and it can be submitted because you submit it to the National Visa Center in the United States, which is currently open right now to begin the process. And 8 months later, she'll be able to come to the United States To reiterate, those are the three options that are available right now for you. So please send us an email. Be happy to give you our intake forms, assess the likelihood of success for the various programs, and be happy to advise you so that you and your fiance can reunite. And we know how important that is.
Thank you, Attorney Ken. So I just, as I roll, I see that thesis just donate us $20. So thank you, thesis, a lot. We really appreciate that. Um, so one question is regarding the student visa. So Trang, I'm planning to stay master degree here in Ho Chi Minh City. Is the school will be the one provide my student visa? I think Attorney Ken, can you help me answer this question?
So the school will provide all the documentation in order for you to get your student visa, but it's actually a different agency. It is the Cục Chức nhập cảnh, which is the border patrol, Customs and Border Patrol in Vietnam, that will provide you the actual student visa. So make sure you work with your counselor at the school in order to get your student visa process while you're in Vietnam right now.
Thank you, Attorney Ken. So we have a very interesting question from Friday with Mateo. I don't know if it is an interesting question, but I always want to know how Vietnamese get their family and first name system. Do you want to go first, Mr. Ken?
No, Jack, this is all you. This is the Vietnamese culture. You have more
Okay,
experience than me.
so I will say this. So in Vietnamese, we have our legit name. So on paper, we have the last name, the middle name, and the first name. So the family name is, of course, like, for example, I am Trương Ngọc Thùy Trang. So my family name is Trương. My middle name is Ngọc Thùy, and then my first name is Trang. So I read that you also have another question that Ho Chi Minh City had many names throughout his life, right? So my answer is I myself I have three names. So one name I use for all my life is my on paper name, which is Thùy Trang. One name is when I at home, and I have the name that my family used to call me, that is Bin. And then just like the type of a peanut or something like that is bean. And then I have a nickname that when you go to college or you go to school, your friends call you by your nickname. So basically you have three names throughout your life in Vietnam, not in Ho Chi Minh City alone. So it's very fun to live in Vietnam because you can experience the culture and you have different type of names as well. Do you have any other
And
names, Attorney Ken?
yes, yes, and if I can add a little bit to that, because I know Friday with Mateo, he's always very active with us, and we have nicknames in the United States as well as Americans. We also have nicknames, and then of course when you have your spouse, they'll also give you a nickname, and you have many of those. But Friday with Mateo, I think the question is very interesting, and it doesn't deal directly with business, but culturally, it's very important to understand and know that there are mainly five dynasties in Vietnam that ruled the entire period of Vietnam, and they're forced all the people to have the same last names during that dynasty, and that's the reason why there are the Nguyen dynasty accounts for over 50% of the population. And then there's the Lee dynasty, there's the Tran dynasty, or Zhang dynasty, the Lei. I think there's the Pham, and then there's the Lee dynasty. So amongst those five names, you can account for over 85% of the Vietnamese people. For me, for example, and for Jiang, the Jung and then the Yung names are actually, many of them come from Chinese. They're adaptations of Chinese names that came into Vietnam in the 1930s, 40s, and 50s that left China. So there are large populations of from Guangzhou and Guangdong and Phuket province that live in Southeast Asia in general, Thailand, Cambodia, Laos, Vietnam, and then many are in southern Vietnam as well. And that's why we have slightly different than your traditional dynastic last names. And then I think your question regarding Ho Chi Minh means, yes, I think you're talking about the person Ho Chi Minh. The person is his original name is Wing Ai Kwok, is his original name, and he studied in Russia, studied in France, and also a bit in China, and then he changed his name throughout history, and finally he ended up with Ho Chi Minh. So there's a very good biographies that you can read, Mateo, regarding his life. He was born in 1890 and passed away in 1969. So he was of advanced age and all the things that he did for Vietnam. So that's more of a historical lesson, but I would highly recommend. He's a very interesting life and the things that he's done. The views may not be fully agreed upon, but of course that's what life is about: discourse, educated discourse, and also being healthy about it. So I'd highly recommend you read a biography on Ho Chi Minh's life, and his original name was Wing Ai Quoc.
Thank you, Attorney Ken. So we have Sang Satori as my question is it possible for foreigners to come to Vietnam to buy property directly, or it has to be done by foreigner agent in your country? Personally, I'd prefer to Vietnam to see and get it done.
So thank you very much, Sang Satoshi. So a foreigner can go directly to Vietnam and buy property. That is not a prohibition for you, but you cannot buy land. Okay, the only restriction right now is you cannot buy land, and also regarding the apartments or the condos, there are certain quotas, foreign quotas for each project that you go to and each district. So you must understand the laws, the real estate laws pertaining to foreigners, ownership, names and grant deeds, how to transfer money in, how to pay your taxes on the property. Thus, if you are fully knowledgeable about the Vietnam laws and also being able to find the properties that you want, with the over 100,000 properties available in Ho Chi Minh City and then more in Hanoi, will you be able to find what you want? Similar to many developed countries, they use agents in order to help them because they know the law, they know the rules, and they can help you find the property, and they can negotiate better deals. Thus, the law does not prohibit you to directly buy your property and also negotiate. However, it's highly recommended that you hire a professional to assist you in this painstaking and difficult process in trying to find that perfect home that you want and get the right price. So if you want to do it on your own, you're more than happy to. But if you need any assistance, we have our team at Yoon Global and our partners that will be happy to help you find your dream apartment, buy it, be on title, and understand the rules on foreign ownership. Thank you, Sam.
Thank you, Mr. Ken. We have Damon Lee as have you heard any notification regarding the shipment of goods to those in red zones yet? I can answer that question. So right now at my area, it is green zone, but from what I see from my point of view is people in red zone will be get more in attention from the government rather than us. So it's actually easier for you to buy goods if you are in red zones because as I say in the earlier of the live video that they will assign one or two people to each floor to help people buy groceries. So you can just simply put a list of what you want to buy and maybe you send it to your landlord and she or he will help you connect with the guy or that will help you buy and ship it to you. One other method that I use that my family use is we use to the supermarket online website. For me, it is rather Winmart, Coopmart, or Bacmasan.com that you can directly choose what you want and they will ship it to the barrier of your location. So each area is separated by a barrier and they will ship it to that barrier and you will come to the barrier to take it and then bring back to your home. So that's my answer. What do you think, Attorney Ken?
Yes, so I definitely agree with Jiang and her analysis. And also some of the red zones that you cannot go in and out. And if it's a very poor area with workers or students that are living in the low income housing, then the government will also assist in delivering food and supplies to you if you're in those really red zones.
Thank you. We have a comment say I want to say thank you. Your firm is currently helping. I'm sorry. So I want to say thank you. Your firm is currently helping my wife try to get a Vietnamese passport and citizenship. It seemed like a difficult case since she was adopted often from Cần.
Yes, so we I do I think I know the case that we're working on, and yeah, with the adopted orphan with the birth certificate, then it should be done. But I believe in your case, it's a little bit difficult to get the birth certificate, so we're working on that right now in order to show her roots to Vietnam. So we're doing our best to try to complete that case for you and your wife. Chang, your volume is not on, Chang.
Oh, I'm sorry. So I'm the number one fan from the channel as love the passion. Even during this time, from both Ken Duong and Trang, keep up what you guys are doing in C. Thank you very
Yeah.
much, NC, for your support to our channel. We really appreciate that.
Yeah, we try to keep it as lively as possible in light of the current pandemic, and um, I'm sure you're reading all the horrible news that's happening in Vietnam all the time. So, as a team, we've decided that we're going to keep it lively, find the silver linings and all the happy moments, and also the light at the end of the tunnel, which we're hoping will be September 15th, whereby it can get back to some level of normalcy, or at least the new normal. So we do appreciate that you see our passion and our attempts to make it more lively and fun and positive. Thank you.
Yes, next we have any update on foreigners visa extension from March 2020 and before March 2020?
So I'm just gonna, to be honest with you, Hope English Club, it is a very moving target right now due to closures of airports or due to lockdowns. So currently, right now, if you are on a foreign visa of any type, business visa, an employment visa, or a TRC or a 5 year exemption, right this moment you are exempted from filing an extension for the period from now until September 15th, because the government authorities are not open for you to file your extensions. So rest assured, there's a slight grace period right now for you. Another general term that I want to present and give all of you is, if you have been here since March 2020 and you've been renewing your visas, it would be over a year now. You're looking at about 18 months of renewals. And the general rule is with 24 months will be the maximum for any extensions of multiple periods and combined together for you. Thus, if you, although you have this grace period, but if you've been extended since March 2020, you should definitely look at an exit strategy out of Vietnam right now. Not that Vietnam is kicking you out, but the laws are the laws, and it's discretionary after you've extended for over 12 months without leaving the country, and then for 24 months for sure. So if you're at that period right now, I would highly recommend that if you are from a developed country such as Japan, Korea, United States, or Europe, Australia, I would highly recommend, if you could, to return to your country, get your vaccinations, visit your family, and wait out the time period until the first quarter of 2022 before you return into Vietnam, if you can do that without jeopardizing your work, your family, or your visas, or your company here in Vietnam. That would be our recommendation in general.
Thank you, Attorney Ken. And we have another question from Anh Trang. He also donated to us, so thank you a lot, Anh Trang. Is there any bank in Vietnam give you loan to purchase home? there are many, right, Attorney Ken? I think that any bank in Vietnam provide loan to purchase home as long as we submit the required documents so they can clarify.
Yes, but we need to make sure, Trang, on Ao, Trang, if you are a foreigner, you don't have as many options as a local. If you're a local Vietnamese and you show sufficient income, there's certain income to debt to income ratio. If you can show you have a job, certain amount of money in the bank account, and also a deposit in for the purchase, at least 30% of the property, then you can get a loan for 70%. However, if you are a foreigner looking to get a loan to purchase a home in Vietnam, there are totally different rules. The traditional banks in Vietnam, including the Vietnamese local banks such as Vietcombank, Techcombank, Vietinbank, and then the international banks, Standard Chartered, HSBC, they are not lending to foreigners right now. However, we at Yoon Global have partnered with a company called Home Base Vietnam. They are a Singaporean-based fund that provides private lending to individuals who are foreigners without credit in Vietnam that want to purchase an apartment, condo in Vietnam, and they are willing to do a joint venture in order to help you buy the home and also have a payment plan for the home. So if you're interested, Al or many others, in purchasing a home in Vietnam and to as a foreigner, then please let us know. Our agent, Miss Vivian, will help you work to find the home, and also our legal and finance team will help you work with Home Base in order to structure the loan for you.
Thank you, Andrew, for your question. We have Chris. He asked, "Good morning, Ken and Jang. I'm currently U.S. citizen in relationship with Vietnamese woman in Hue since beginning of pandemic. Which visa to U.S. is the best, spousal visa or fiancé visa?"
Okay, great, Chris. So I will. So those are the two main options right now, but I'll also add a third one. If she can qualify to get a tourist visa, a B1, B2 tourist visa to the United States, you can also, after she comes to the US, you can get married and apply for the spousal visa or the fiance visa as well in the United States. But if we're just strictly talking between the spousal or the fiance visa, there are many factors that are involved in the decision process. One factor is timing. Right now, the spousal visas are processed a little bit faster, roughly about 2 to 4 months faster than the fiance visa. To the scrutiny level, fiance visas are highly scrutinized because there is not a commitment of marriage yet, and there's no marriage certificate. There's only the intent to get married. So therefore, those relationships and are highly scrutinized for being fake or not fully truthful. Also, the requirement for fiance visa is that it's a non-immigrant visa, whereas a spousal visa is an immigrant visa, which is dual intent to reside in the United States. The fiance visa is a non-immigrant visa with the intent of going to the US in order to get married within 90 days. So as you can, I don't know if you watched it, but there's a show called 90 Day Fiance where they come to the US, they live together for 90 days, and they decide if they're going to continue with the process of getting married. So that show is actually pretty interesting. But from a legal standpoint, you are legally required to get married, and then you adjust your status to a spousal visa after that in order to stay in the United States. From a timing standpoint, it takes right now for a spousal visa between 8 to 12 months, and a fiance visa, you're looking at between 10 to 14 months. So it's about 2 months or so longer and a little bit harder to do this fiance visa. But I know that you can't come to Vietnam to get married now, so maybe the only option you have is doing the fiance visa or doing the B1, B2 visa. And Chris will be happy to give you a full legal consultation on your situation, let you know the success rates of your application, and then also, of course, help you with the preparation of application and U.S. consular processing in Vietnam. Thank you.
Thank you, Attorney Ken, and thank you, Chris. As adding to your question, is we will have a separate video coming this Sunday about the topic that you want to hear, which is the spousal visa and fiance visa that I've done editing and will be published on Sunday, which means your Saturday. So please make sure that you check it out. Thank you a lot for your question. So we have a question from Bruce Wayne, one of our the donor from the last time you do the food charity. Is are you still going to pass out food to the needy, or has the lockdown affected your good cause?
Yes. So, yeah. First of all, thank you very much, Bruce, for giving us donations during the last live stream, and we've actually we closed out that donation in order to passing out food because it's just too difficult logistically for us. However, we through the partnership with Vid Love Foundation in Orange County, just organized a benefit concert on August 19th, and the total money raised from that benefit concert was 160,000 US dollars and counting from the checks and then from the phone banking a few days after. So we're tallying up those numbers right now, and we're hoping that it will come out to about 190 to 200,000 US dollars in order to buy ventilators or respirators for the hospitals, also medicines, preventative medicine, and also if you do get COVID, and then also noodles. We bought over 500 boxes of noodles in order to deliver to the needy families. We are still doing that program. We just started up again about 4 days ago, and because now we know the lockdown is going further, those families are starving. They're in need. They've been texting us every single day about helping them with food, and so we really want to help. But with the new regulations on the lockdown, there are only certain groups that are permitted to go out. So what we're doing is instead of doing our daily delivery, we are packaging them together. So we're ordering 500 boxes of noodles and then having a group with the Vietnamese Red Cross to deliver all at once. We're creating the care packages and then also the respirators or the ventilators in order to pass it out to the hospitals around Ho Chi Minh City and also Bình Dương as well. So, Bruce, of course, the monies will go a long ways, and we value and we thank you very much. If you're so inclined to help continue the donation, please do help us. We are starting our fundraising again to continue having monies in order to help for the next 3 weeks until September 15th, as I think this is one of the most critical points for the people right now, having a maximum lockdown and then trying to be able to access food, medicines, and for folks who have COVID to access respirators for them to breathe more easily.
Thank you, Attorney Ken. That's a very uh, truthful answer, and we appreciate that. And we have a question from Jane Piero. Say hello. I have a friend in Vietnam. She got married January of 2020 to an American. It's been 18 months already. Do you think the spouse got COVID?
I guess we got married during 2020 into to be honest, I don't know specifically how to answer that. If you have not filed for the spousal visa for her, then maybe she'll have some second thoughts. And it depends on her situation financially, economically. If she's in a tough situation, I don't think she has really time to think about America. She has to think about her livelihood and survival, about helping her family here. Because as you know, you marry one person, you marry the entire family. So it's not just an individualistic thought that she's just taking care of herself. She has to take care of her family as well. So I don't believe that she has cold feet in the sense that if you applied for the spousal visa already, then it shows that you've been committed to bringing her to the United States. It may have taken a little bit longer than expected due to closures in the United States and now closures in Vietnam. Uh, because it takes two parts to do the spousal fiance visa. You start off with the National Visa Center in the U.S., and if you had applied last year, then U.S. was closed, so that took longer. And then now, if it comes back to Vietnam in time, Vietnam's closed, so consular processing. So what would have taken normally 12 to 14 months would probably take maybe 18 to 24 months now in light of the current pandemic. So let's stay optimistic that she does not have cold feet and that she is still interested in marrying your friend to have a good life in America. And that is kind of my general thought without giving any specifics. That's just from our experience working on many cases in Vietnam.
Yeah, thank you. So as we receive a lot of comments, so I have to apologize that I may have to skip some of it because we have time limited. So Friday with Mateo, I read all of your comment, and I really appreciate that. And definitely would love to see more of document about Ho Chi Minh as well. So thank you for those your comment. So we have a question from Panda. She said, xin chào Panda. When do you think Vietnam will be open for tourism? So, Attorney Ken Duong, do you want to say first?
Yes, so we're thinking first quarter of 2022.
Agree. Me too. I'm thinking the same way. So, for full sandbox, maybe a little bit earlier, but for general international tourism, maybe in first uh, January or September, January of the next year. I think it will be open. Next is, have you both you guys got vaccinated yet? If so, what did you get? So I got my first shot about 2 weeks ago with AstraZeneca, and I experienced some pretty bad side effects, but I think Mr. Ken is doing good.
So good news, Panda, that all of our team at Yoon Global Vietnam have had our first shot already, and we are waiting for the 3 to 4 week period, depending on which one you got. And in order to, we're hoping that September 15th we'll be able to go back to the company and hang out and eat snacks, talk to each other, and high fives and all that good social interaction that people need. But we do already have our vaccinations. I actually got the Pfizer first shot about 2 weeks ago as well. And fortunately, I don't have any side effects. I was very comfortable, um, except for the mentally, being at home, it's very difficult and tough as I miss all my colleagues at the office. But
We
we
miss you
we
too.
are we are one vaccination, and then in the next 2 to 4 weeks, our entire team will hopefully get our second vaccination shots.
Agree. I really hope that things get better so we can see each other again because I'm so done staying at home. I'm so done staying
Mhm.
at home.
Yeah.
So next question we have, is it possible for me to ask for Vietnamese passport? I was born in France from Vietnamese parents. We went back to Vietnam in few in the 80s as both people. My mom do not have Vietnamese passport, just birth certificate.
So really quickly to answer VTL, both of your parents need to get their passport in order for you to get your Vietnamese passport. Please take a look at our website. We have a specific landing page for Vietnam passports. You can read all the information, watch our videos and the frequently asked questions, and fill out the assessment form, and we will get back to you on the best path for you to get your Vietnamese passport.
Thank you. We have a question from Alan Tong. Good morning, Ken and Jane. Can a foreigner purchase a house in Vietnam or just condo? And whether or not you would provide any conveyance service?
Sure.
I don't know if I
Uh,
spelled correctly. I'm sorry.
yeah, conveyancing services. Yes, Alan. We so a foreigner cannot purchase a house attached to the land. So what we call the single family dwelling, or in Vietnam they call it biệt thự. So you cannot own the land itself. You might be able to purchase what's called a shop house within a project if they have designated foreign quotas. You can buy an apartment, you can buy a condo, you can buy a townhouse, but you cannot buy a single family home, or you cannot buy land. And yes, at Young Global, we do provide conveyancing services. We have what is called a legal due diligence package in order to make sure you understand the zoning, know what the purchase and sale agreement entails, and also the conveyancing or transfer process. Make sure it's legally in your name and you are entitled to hold property in Vietnam. So we do have conveyancing services. Please let us know. Miss Vivian is our real estate provider in the office. So she'll be glad to help you. So please contact us at contact@youngbusinessconsulting.com, and we'll be happy to give you specific advice on buying property in Vietnam.
Thank you, Attorney Ken Duong, for your uh, answer. So we have some multiple comments from Friday with Mateo. I don't know if you can read the comment, Attorney Ken. Maybe you want to interact with him with some of those comments.
Sure, sure. But first, Chang, let me help answer real quickly. Xavier Neto,
Yes.
first, thank you for your donation of $27.90. That will go very far for our charity work. Hello, I'm from Brazil. I want to go to Vietnam in April 2022. When can I get my visa? So we are optimistic that it will be open in April 2022. Xavier, just you can apply a month before that. So you can apply in March because the for the Tet holidays, most likely the offices will be closed. But you will be working with your the Vietnamese embassy or consulate in Brazil. Most likely, it'll be in Rio de Janeiro, um, uh, in Brazil, so that you can apply for your visa. But if you need any help, please let us know. We'll be happy to. But March 2022, you can apply and get your visa within a month. So let's uh, with Friday with Mateo. Ho Chi Minh has always a kitchen hand in USC too, as well as a chef about tax. Okay, great. So yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with you, Mateo. Having the a docu series or information about Ho Chi Minh City would be very interesting. Let's definitely take the dialogue outside for regarding the historical side. Mostly on the live stream, we try to stay away from the political side because there's still a large population of the Vietnamese diaspora around the world that may not share the same views about Ho Chi Minh City, his accolades, what he's done for the Vietnamese people generally, and also in Vietnam right now. So therefore, I would take this offline. Friday with Mateo, I'll be happy to talk to you about the historical, the economic, the social, and the political influence and aspects of Ho Chi Minh uh, and his leadership in Vietnam offline. All right, so shoot me an email or we can even chat or even a phone call separately Friday with Mateo. We appreciate your comments and I would like to take it offline and go deep and talk more about that. So thank you very much for your interest in the Vietnamese people and the Vietnamese history.
Thank you, Attorney Ken. Are there any questions that you want to um, talk specifically?
So how much time do we have left, Jang? Make
Up
sure.
to you. Up to you. Up to you.
Well, you know what? I think it's a very good segue. I think we.
I think we already answered all of the question that needs to answer.
Yeah, I think with that said, it's a good ending point. We're at an hour and 43 minutes, so ending it at an hour and 45 minutes is always good. On always I appreciate. Thank you, Jang, for joining the live stream today. You did amazingly well. I'm sure everybody really liked it as well. And to be perfectly honest, it's actually much more interesting to have two or more people. We would love to actually have our Miss V as well, our legal consultant on the Vietnam passports, to answer directly your questions. Uh, and keep it lively and interesting. So if you are interested in meeting Miss V, Lei V, please let us know. We'll probably do a poll as well to get your feedback because we always want to give you information, but we wanted to do it in an interesting way and also a direct way. So I really appreciate having Jang be on the live stream as well. And I hope all of you did enjoy having both of us on the live stream. Thank you very much on behalf of Yoon Global. And we look forward to seeing you on all the other videos. So we're going to give you hearts. So back to you, Jang,
Thank
to wrap it
you.
up.
Yes, thank you. We'll see you the next live stream. Goodbye.
See you. Take care.